Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
JP Morgan have got a fairly substantial wealth management business here in Asia. Can you tell me the business model?
Well, historically we've focused on ultra high net worth, which for us is $30 million and above. The next level of wealth, which we call high net worth wealth, which for us is $10 to $30 million, which is a little higher than most other private banks, is a business that we've been doing in the States and Latin America for a long time, but we haven't been particularly focused on it here in Asia. So we're now growing both our ultra high net worth business, and my role is to grow the high net worth business in Asia. And in that, we're doing that through what we call our integrated team model, which is a little different from the norm in the street. Now what that means is that in the street it's normal for there to be a banker and an investor, but it's the banker's choice if and when to bring that investor into the relationship. In our model there is a banker and an investor on every client relationship, and so we fundamentally believe that advice is best delivered through a team of specialists in a team environment rather than being responsible for just one individual.
Typically, how many clients would each team look after?
Around 35 clients for each banker. So again, at a lower coverage ratio than most, and therefore in order to make the economics work, we're looking to be the primary banker for our clients. We're really seeking to bank the core part of their wealth.
And it makes a big difference having one of the largest asset managers within the organisation?
Yes, our asset management arm, of which we're part, has $2 trillion of assets under supervision. It's one of the largest asset managers globally. That provides a great deal of scope and a huge benefit to us as a private bank. We do though have a completely independent due diligence process, so the products that we select from our asset management arm are those that we see to be the best in the marketplace, and then we have a guided architecture approach, so the predominance of funds and solutions that our clients will have in their portfolios will be from third-party managers.
What's the split between Hong Kong and Singapore for your wealth management team?
Look, historically we've been more focused in Hong Kong. I think in part because we've been more of an ultra high net worth bank, and of course the predominance of Greater China, ultra high net worth is very high. In growing our high net worth business, that's going to be 50-50 between Hong Kong and Singapore. I'm now based in Singapore, and our business here is growing very strongly, a little faster than in Hong Kong, but overall it's a 50-50 split that we're after.
And you're looking for clients from throughout the region?
Absolutely.
Southeast Asia for Singapore and North Asia for Hong Kong?
Absolutely. We also, as an American bank, we're also pleased to offer banking to Americans as well, which almost every bank can't because of the taxation reporting. We do bank Americans, and we have a model now that supports that.
And how difficult is it to grow bankers within your team? Recruitment policies, for example, is that a difficult task?
Well, I'd be biased, of course, but I think we're the best story in town at the moment. We've got a great brand. We've got a fantastic platform that we share across ultra high and high net worth. All of the same intellectual capital that we make available to sovereign wealth funds is available to our $10 million client. We have this integrated team coverage model, which once bankers understand it is actually a very banker friendly model. What we're giving the banker is a whole lot of extra resources and intellectual thinking and ideas to help them manage the client relationship. So in many of the other models, everything revolves around the banker, and the banker is just overwhelmed by everything they're asked to do. In our model we say we understand that. There are certain things you need to do. You still need to be as responsible and as accountable for the client relationship as you were in the other model, but in our model we have a number of people there to help support you giving advice to the client.
Isn't the 30 million plus target very akin to the family office type of setup? Is it therefore a family office type business that you're offering?
No, not quite. So our family office business starts at $100 million and above, and that business is growing very strongly. What I'm focused on is the $10 to $30 million category, and generally in that category you're talking to first and second generation entrepreneurs in Asia who've toiled very hard, or their families toiled very hard to create that wealth. And the challenge there is to convince those business owners that they're running too much risk having all of their wealth invested in their working capital of their business, and they really need to set aside some of that into a balanced and diversified portfolio. So that's the business that we're focused on.
Typically, what is your portfolio set up now for clients?
Well, in our portfolio, the way that we look at investing is we very much prefer clients to have a diversified approach, which for us means no more than 2 or 3% in any one particular security. In our model portfolios, even for conservative investor, we'll have around 30% allocated to alternatives. So alternatives is really a big part of what we offer private equity and hedge funds. That's not necessarily the natural space for Asians investors who think shorter term. So again, that's not something that happens overnight. That's a discussion that happens over years. But we're having a lot of success, and we certainly believe that we have a much higher proportion of our client money in alternative assets compared to our competitors. We also have a higher proportion of money in our discretionary mandates. So getting into a fiduciary relationship with our clients is our preferred way of operating. Again, in Asia, that's not the natural place for Asians to invest. So again, that's an ongoing discussion. But we are having a lot of success in getting clients to trust us into a fiduciary relationship and give us a discretionary mandate for particular asset classes.
When you talk about alternatives, are you talking about fund of hedge funds? Are you talking about property funds? Are you talking about single strategy? Hedge funds?
Everything starts
all
with
of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. Everything starts with a view, and so we'll have a view around technology or commercial real estate in the US, and we therefore seek out the best manager on commercial real estate, create a private equity fund together with them, and that may well be, and in that instance is a unique offering for JP Morgan. The benefit for the manager is they get the distribution capacity of the bank. The benefit for us is we pick the very best person in the world to go after that particular strategy. So it's generally single manager hedge funds and private equity with a distinct theme behind the private equity.
And that means you're using third-party managers for most of that, because JPM will not be having so much alternative management internally.
Well, we now have Highbridge, so that's one of our internal managers, and yes, we do have several of their funds on the platform, but broadly that's right. Now, we don't take a supermarket approach. We have a very big due diligence team, over 60 people globally. We have only 50 hedge funds on the platform, so our role is to pick the very best hedge funds for clients. And as you know, the dispersion in investment performance between the top performing hedge fund managers and the lowest performing hedge fund managers is quite large. So on average, the performance of hedge funds over the last few years hasn't been great, but the top quartile has been very good. So actually getting the selection process right is fundamental to investing in hedge funds.
And is that selection done in Asia, or is
Absolutely.
it done?
Well, there are people in London, Geneva, Asia and New York.
And you're connecting up with all of them?
Oh, it's a global platform.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. And looking at the future, you clearly would assume there's going to be some substantial growth for your business.
We have ambitious growth targets, but Mary Erdos, who runs our asset management and private bank, has been very clear with me that the goal is not to be the biggest, but to be the best private bank. So it's not growth for growth's sake. So while we have growth targets, we don't look at them as things that we must achieve, because we have to achieve our growth in the right way. And that fundamentally is about putting clients' first-class business in a first-class way and delivering it through our integrated team model.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.